the biggest change I've seen is in the racial problem, the blacks. And some of it I regret very much. Quite the opposite of the Jews in the case of the Holocaust. The blacks seem not to want to be reminded of history, seem not to want to, in this Disney project that was announced, we will show you what it was like to be a slave. Whereupon a great outcry went up. We don't want to see that kind of thing. Almost the opposite of the Jews having Holocaust museums and all kinds of things. I regret that. I think they ought to celebrate their past the same way the Jews did about bondage in Egypt. They're not ashamed of it. They say we came out of it. We conquered it. And I wish there were more of that. The Civil War, there's a great compromise, as it's called. It consists of Southerners admitting freely that it's probably best that the Union wasn't divided. And the North admits rather freely that the South fought bravely for a cause in which it believed. And that is a great compromise, and we live with that, and that works for us. We are now able to look at the war with some coolness, which we couldn't do before now. And incidentally, I very much doubt whether a history such as mine could have been written much before 100 years had elapsed. It took all that time for things to cool down. When I was a grade school boy in Mississippi, I knew obscene doggerel about Abraham Lincoln, left over from my parents and grandparents. Yankees were despised. When one of them was so unfortunate as to move to Greenville, Mississippi, he was despised. All that stopped. All that's over now. And the great compromise obtains. And I wish my black friends could do the same thing. Illinois senator who didn't want the Daughters of the Confederacy in Richmond to have a Confederate symbol, not the battle flag, just a Confederate symbol on their stationery, got her fellow senators to disallow it. I do not understand that. That's a violation of the compromise, for example. And it's an arousal of bitterness. But she, along with a great many others, do not want to be reminded. She has every right to want to hide from history if she wants to. But it seems to me she's trying to hide history from us, and that's a mistake.